Welcome to the With Clarity and Purpose podcast with your host, Yanet Borrego. Each week, I bring you an inspiring person or message to empower you to live life on your terms so you can be who you want to be, do what you are meant to do, and have the life you deserve to have. We will provide you with practical and cutting-edge approaches to continue getting clarity and direction on your path, mastering your mindset, and gaining confidence to tap into your inner wisdom so you can live on purpose. If you're seeking to boost your clarity in any decision you have been wanting to make or any situation that you're going through and you keep asking yourself, is this the right decision for me? Is this the right approach for me? Even, is this the right path for me? I want you to go right now to my show notes because I have prepared a free and simple 3 questions framework for you to go through that by answering these questions, I promise you'll feel a lot more clearer and you'll start creating fulfilling outcomes out of the decisions you're making. Just go right now, or you can go to ybcoaching.com/clarity. Enjoy the episode. I still remember 10 years ago when I was given my first personal development book. My uncle, who I've mentioned before in this podcast several times, gave it to me when my mom and I went back to Cuba to see our family after 12 years of being separated from them. It was such an important time in my life because that was the time before actually starting my full-time career. And at that time, I remember I was still discovering myself. And I would dare to say that's the time when I actually started to discover what I wanted to do in my career and what I wanted to do in my life. The first book I got from personal development, it was a book by Tony Robbins, and the book was Awaken the Giant Within. I would strongly recommend it. That book completely changed my perspective in life. And for the first time, I felt a fire in me that none of my chemical engineering textbooks had given me. For a moment, I felt in alignment. I truly felt fulfilled and I wanted more of that. I remember, as I mentioned, this was the same time when I had started my full-time career in the oil and gas industry. We went to Cuba because I knew after starting my career, I was going to have a limited time of vacation. So we wanted to go beforehand to really spend several weeks with my grandmother, my uncle, my dad, and we just had a blast. Now, when I started my career, which was everything I had worked for, I remember getting there to that point after 5 years and a half of my chemical engineering degree, 5 internships in the oil and gas industry, a really high GPA, and lots of leadership experiences. And I remember getting there and thinking, I have been following all the instructions of how to have a successful career, a successful life, and now I have it all. And then when I got there, when I had it all, I started to ask myself, and now what's next for me? What is all about now that I have all these things that I've always dreamt of? Who is the person that I want to be? What do I want to do? And I remember not feeling fulfilled. I remember at that time just feeling this sense of being stuck and feeling the sense of being overwhelmed because I didn't know what the way was going to look like. And I remember just getting started and just obsessing over this concept of fulfillment and just asking myself, how do I know what fulfillment is about? And how do other people know? How can I help myself? And how can I serve others do the same? And that's when really my journey of personal development and my journey of gaining clarity on my career path and really on my purpose started. Lately, I have been listening to Tony Robbins again, and I love what he says. Achievement is a science, fulfillment is an art. But here's the thing, this art, the art of fulfillment, is the most important thing of all because it has to do with your inside world. You can achieve all the success. You can be a billionaire. You can have everything externally. And if you still are not mastering that internal world, everything that you get will feel empty because you're empty inside. So many people have really mastered the science of achievement, and few have mastered the art of fulfillment. And I want to give you an example because this has happened to me. I'm human, right? And I'm sure you can truly identify with this. Have you ever been in a situation where great things are happening to you? Maybe you are getting the clients you have dreamt of. You're getting the promotion. You're getting like everything just seems to be manifesting outside of you. And at the same time, your internal state is not matching the vibration of what you're manifesting externally. And even though the outside seems perfect and successful, you still feel sad or empty or doubting yourself, or maybe you don't have the right confidence that you want. And at that time, you realize that it's not about what happens outside of us. It's really what happens inside of us and how we respond to the external circumstances and how we start mastering that inside world. Because when everything looks right on the inside, the outside is just a projection of what we are feeling inside. But when the outside changes and good things are happening for you and you're not feeling it inside of you because you're not happy, joyful, nothing that happens outside matters because everything starts on the inside. Your internal world, that's the foundation for everything, my friend. So have you been in that situation where things are going great and you still feel that emptiness? You still feel that sense of feeling stuck? I've been there. And I remember when I started my full-time career as a chemical engineer, that first year, I started to feel that way. Everything that I was dreaming of, I had. I was supporting my mom financially. I was supporting my family in Cuba. I had this 6-figure job. And I still felt that that was not it, what I was meant to live. Because your internal state, like I mentioned, really defines your external perception. Here's the thing. When you master the art of fulfillment, you can do and achieve anything in the outside world. Because the information is out there. It's a science. You just need to have consistent focus and take consistent action. And that, my friend, that's all internal work. This is why today's podcast episode is all about how to master the art of fulfillment. And of course, as you know, I always provide you with a framework to get there. So when I think of the art of fulfillment, I think of three elements really to master that art of fulfillment. And these three elements are clarity, growth, and the ability to give. Clarity, growth, and giving. When we talk about clarity, it's all about understanding your direction and the person that you want to be, so you do the things you're meant to do and have the things you deserve to have. Now, so many times we feel in our lives that we are out of control. We are not really controlling our internal state, and rather we are just reacting to every circumstance that comes our way. I love what Tony Robbins says. Losers react, leaders anticipate. And we have to be the leaders of our lives. We have to really have that clarity of defining our direction. Where do you want to walk towards? And really harness and be in control of our mindset, of our internal state. And when you're in control of your inside and you have the sense and you have the knowing that you are in the driving seat of your life, that feels good. That makes you feel fulfilled. Because now you don't feel that you're a victim of the circumstance. You're not a victim of the external. But instead, the external is being a projection of what you're feeling internally. You feel in control because you are clear. And when you're clear and you feel in control of yourself, then you start feeling fulfilled. Because honestly, it is natural for us human beings to want that certainty, to want to feel in control. But the only thing you can control is the inside of ourselves. And when you have that control and when you have that clarity, that gives you that certainty that we are always looking for. Knowing where you're moving towards and what your direction looks like is a must. That is honestly why in my coaching program, that is why I guide my coaching clients after the release. I guide them through a very detailed framework for them to define their reality and gain clarity on their direction. Because that's the next phase. That's the next phase when you have a clean canvas. It's really creating. It's really creating your direction, creating who you want to be. And I want you to ask you a couple of questions that I think they're going to be very helpful as you discover your path, as you gain clarity on your path. The first question, and my friend, I want you to really write down these questions. Take a moment right now to take a pen, to take a notebook, or even your laptop. Write down these questions and start answering them. Do not overthink the answer, okay? Do not rationalize it. Just start putting pen to paper, and whatever comes out of you, that's what you need. That's the answer. Just trust that the answer will come out. I have 3 questions for you in this area of clarity. The first one is, who do you want to be that you're not being? The second one is, what do you want to do that you're not doing? And the third one is, what do you want to have that you are not having? So many times we feel stuck. We feel like we don't have control of whatever is happening around us. And we probably don't. But as I mentioned before, you are the one taking decisions every single second of your life. And those decisions create the direction that you're taking in your life. And when you have a clear direction, it doesn't matter what happens in the outside. There is an intention to your actions. There is an intention to every step of the way. And again, that intention, that feeling that you're having control of your decisions, you're having control of your vision, that is what is going to give you fulfillment. The second element is growth. In order to feel really that way of being fulfilled, in order to master the art of fulfillment, you got to keep stretching yourself. You got to keep growing. Because now that you have that clarity, and now that you have your direction, the important part is to take aligned steps that make you grow, that make you wiser, and that make you get closer to those steps. And the only way to get closer to those steps is doing things you have never done before, which equals to growing. If we are not growing, we are not going to feel that internal fulfillment. Because we as human beings, we are meant to stretch, to create. And that element of creation is a very important element in growth. Creation is also being exposed to different situations that challenge you. Tony Robbins always says the biggest problem human beings have is the belief that we shouldn't have problems, don't we? Problems make you grow. Get that in your mind. Problems make you grow when we see them as challenges, because they are. The more you grow, the more complex challenges you will face, because you become wiser. You become ready to do more, to do bigger things. So since we are going to face challenges anyways, why not enjoy the process of troubleshooting and figuring things out? Because you know what? You have that potential. You can own whatever you put your mind and your heart into. And I have a question for you in this element of growth. What is the next challenge that you want to take on so you continue growing? What is that next level for you? How are you going to continue growing? And the last element, the third element of mastering the art of fulfillment, is the element of giving. Life is more meaningful when we share it with others. We all know that, don't we? As we gain clarity and we continue defining those steps that will make us grow, because we'll be facing challenges, no doubt. How do you want to use what you have learned, what you have grown into, to create an impact in this world, to help others, really? What is your approach to using your gift to give to others? What's the impact that you want to create in this world? How do you want to give? And even right now, how are you giving back just right now? Something that I love, that I've learned about myself, is that I love mentoring others. I mean, I love coaching. That's definitely my profession. And also on the side of coaching, I really enjoy mentoring other coaches that are starting their path. Right now, I'm mentoring 4 coaches that they are being certified. Like they're being certified in the next few months, and I'm mentoring them, and I truly enjoy just sharing those experiences. I've been mentoring 2 students that they are now not students because this was 9 years ago. A shout out to Bere and Jennifer. I mentored them for almost 8, 9 years right now. They started being students and now they're working their full-time jobs. And they feel fulfilled. They feel they can make an impact. And mentorship was a big vehicle to that. And for me, I learned so much from them because mentorship is also about learning. You're being mentored by your mentees also. And that's what it's lovely. So how are you giving? What do you enjoy doing? Maybe volunteering, maybe donating your time, your energy. How are you giving back with your gift? Whatever your gift is. Now, those are the 3 elements to mastering the art of fulfillment. And now that you have that clarity on how to continue mastering this art, you can start taking action just right now. There is no time to waste, just right now. That's the only moment we have. Remember, these 3 elements are clarity, growth, and giving, the ability to give. On clarity, answer the following questions. And I added this one from the ones before. Where does your fire come from? What makes you feel energized? Honestly, I always say that if you want to find your passion, you gotta see how you respond to certain situations in terms of energy. For example, whenever I have finished a coaching, mentoring, or teaching session, I feel way more energized than when I started. Because remember, energy cannot be created or destroyed, it's just transformed. So whenever you're passionate about something, that something is gonna have more energy in you. You're gonna transform whatever energy you have, and you're gonna feel more passionate and more energized after you finish that activity. There is no doubt. I'm truly passionate about serving you and helping you discover your purpose, and I'm deeply grateful that you're here with me listening at this podcast. What is that for you? Who do you want to be that you're not being? What do you want to do that you're not doing? And what do you want to have that you are not having just right now? That's in terms of clarity. Now, in terms of growth, based on that clarity that you have been getting and that you have achieved from those previous questions that I just gave you, what is the next challenge that you want to take on so you can continue growing? What is the next level for you? And you decide that. No one else knows except for you, my friend, because this is an inside-out journey. Everything starts on the inside. And the last element, the element of giving. How are you serving others right now? Those challenges that you have faced, those lessons that you have learned, how are you sharing them with others? How are you giving back? How can you use your gifts to have an impact in this beautiful world? How can you empower others to do better, to be better? Take a few minutes just right now. You don't have to overthink this. You don't have to make it 20 pages. And write down the answer to these questions. Remember, the quality of your life is directly related to the quality of the questions you're asking yourself. Just write down the answers. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I truly hope you take the next step to continue mastering this art of fulfillment, because now you have the 3 elements to do so. If you enjoyed the episode, I always say it, please share it with your friends, your family. Let's empower as many people to live a purpose-fulfilled life, full of impact, full of giving back to others. Because, my friend, we can do it together. I hope to see you next week, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening at With Clarity and Purpose. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Sharing is caring. Please share with your friends and family so we can continue building an empowered community together. I'll see you next week.